We are coming up to the news. It is 7:30.
ABC Radio, it's yours.
Yours for sharing your news.
Yours for airing your local perspective.
Yours in good times and bad.
ABC Radio.
ABC News for New England Northwest. Good morning, I'm Kemi Maguire. The National Farmers Federation says it's satisfying to see land meant for coal mining in the Liverpool Plains back in the hands of locals. 12 of the region's farmers and one corporate entity has bought back more than 16,000 hectares of land from Chinese mining giant Shenhua. The owners plan to fill the land with sheep, cattle and crop production. Local farmer and president of the Federation, Fiona Simpson, says it's a great bookend to the decade-long story.
To see this land back in the hands of some of our local farmers who fought so hard to ensure that this land is for agricultural production and was preserved and maintained for agricultural production, it is very much a closing the loop.
A man has died in a single vehicle crash in Tamworth city centre yesterday. Just before 6 p.m, the man driving a large ute ran off Peel Street and hit a fence. Despite the efforts of other motorists and paramedics, the driver, a 59-year-old man, died at the scene. A report will now be prepared for the coroner. The Deputy Premier, Paul Toole, says the government is committed to addressing staffing shortfalls across regional hospitals that have been exacerbated further by a surge in coronavirus cases. Healthcare staff across the state are reporting burnout as the number of COVID-19 patients in New South Wales hospitals exceed 2,000. Minister Toole says there is more money coming to help bring nurses and doctors to rural and remote areas.
Not only is it important about attracting, but also retaining some of those health professionals that we've got in the health system already. We know they do an amazing job, but we also want to give those that are wanting to move into the system the support that is required to actually attract them into regional and rural parts of the state.
Despite the Tamworth Country Music Festival being postponed, another major event in the city will still be going ahead as planned. Liz Farquhar reports. Tamworth's Rodeo Roundup is set to attract over 3,000 spectators. Organisers ABCRA announced they'll be running as scheduled, despite New South Wales Health pulling the pin on the iconic music festival, which should have preceded the event. CEO Craig Young says due to the seated venue inside the livestock arena, COVID-safe plans were approved. Up to 400 local and interstate riders are expected to compete at the rodeo when it runs at the end of this month. Tenterfield's Showgirls is no more, as the agricultural show competition, which has run for half a decade, undergoes a name change. As of this year, it will now be known as the Young Women of the Year Awards, with organisers saying it is moving with the times. Coordinator and 2018 winner Keely Mooney says the previous name didn't accurately depict what women get out of the competition.
I guess each young woman will find what is important to them and what encourages them, but it was really just a push to be around young women and find their interests and make me step back and think, hey, what can I do? What am I good at? And really just appreciate that and take it that next step further.
Business New South Wales wants JobSaver and other support measures reintroduced for 3 months to help small businesses survive the Omicron outbreak. The advocacy group says the hospitality and arts industries have been devastated by a drop in customers and a rise in employees isolating due to the exploding number of cases. Director of Policy David Harding says small businesses need the support.
We're asking for governments just to look at those sectors, those geographies within New South Wales that have been particularly hard done by Omicron and make sure that we don't waste the money that has been spent to date on keeping our economy afloat.
Also making news by the end of today, it's expected 4 council areas in the New England Northwest will have a new mayor. Moree, Gunnedah, Glen Innes and Narrabri will hold their council meetings later today when elections will take place. Tenterfield, Armidale and Walker are expected to meet and elect the mayoral roles later this week. Looking at the weather for New England Northwest, today hot and cloudy for the northern tablelands northwest slopes and plains. Slight chance of a shower with a thunderstorm predicted during this afternoon and evening. Tamworth heading for a top of 34 today, 37 in Moree, 35 in Narrabri, Inverell heading for a top of 32, 27 in Glen Innes and 28 in Armidale. For news anytime, search for ABC Local and select your region.